And good Tuesday evening, everyone. April 8th, 2025 must mean one thing. Baseball season has started. We're a little over a week into the season, about 2 weeks in. And here we are with our debut episode of year two of New York, New York, our show dedicated to the Yankees and Mets and anything else baseball in between. But I'm your host, Kenny K, and I'm always here with my good friend and co-host of New York, New York, Mr. Paul Rosen, big Met fan. How we doing, Paul?
Good evening, Kenny. Good evening, everybody. Great to be here on our first baseball show of the year. Of course, with the draft around the corner, we do our Giant show. But hey, we're dedicating our first show this year to baseball, and hey, it's always good when the baseball season starts. So I'm looking forward to the great show tonight.
Likewise, and we'll give people some time to come in. It's a little earlier start than normal. We usually start at 8, but we're starting at 7:30 tonight. I know people coming home from work going to be checking us out. So here's a couple of comments right out of the gate. Kurt Valenti, happy early birthday to Mr. K. For those who don't know, I'm celebrating a 50th birthday tomorrow. Baseball talk tonight? Yep, Kurt, it's baseball season. We got a baseball show tonight. Come on, it's Knicks Celtics. Playoffs are here, boys. Let's go, Knicks. Have a great one, boys. Well,
So
let's go,
true,
Knicks.
but hey,
Let's go, Knicks. You're right. Let's go,
yeah.
Knicks. We'll get that win in there. And there's our friend Scoop Woodhams saying, "Rest in peace, Octavio Dotel." Paul, do you want to talk about him? He played for the Mets a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw that, then I saw something else about him that maybe he didn't pass away uh, because of an accident. So it's a little funky in terms of whether he did pass away or not. I don't know if it's been actually confirmed, because I did see something else that said he didn't die. So,
Okay,
but I
we'll
know he
hold
he
off. He
pitched. Yeah.
pitched well for the Mets for a few years. He
Yeah, and then obviously played with you
played,
guys
played with
also
us as
a
well.
little
So
bit.
definitely, thoughts and prayers with the Dotel family for sure. Uh,
Yeah.
So, all right, Paul, we got our baseball show, dedicated to the Yankees and Mets. It's going to be mostly 50-50, talk about Yankees and the Mets. Uh, but for those who watch K and K, we have Kurt's quick hitters. Well, Paul and I have a baseball themed quick hitter segment for everybody, and I have for Paul, and Paul has for me, and that segment is called "Who's on First?" And I just got to pull it up and we'll get started. And that's not who's on first. That's Judge and Soto. There they are, the dynamic duo, Abbott and Costello, famous comedy bit. Who's on first? So I'm going to get it started and show you all what we're going to do. It's quick hitters. It's just Paul and I, so we can answer in a minute or less. If the topic goes a little long, we'll stay with it. My who's on first for you, Paul, is about, uh, where is it?
It's our first show.
Improving on some pitchers, Paul. I got 4 of them for you. That's the one I wanted to do for who's on first, because what's on second, I got a good one for you. Uh, so it's no secret. The Mets need some starting pitching, in my opinion. Manaya's hurt. Senga, you don't have that true ace, in my opinion, for a team that in October is going to compete for a World Series. That's just my opinion. So I got 4 names for you, Paul, and I want to know if you're going to give up one of these 2 guys or both for him. If the price, we'll say one of these 2, Jet Williams, who's one of your top prospects in minors, or Acuna, and you can give up 1 or 2 of these guys. That's the asking price. The first guy I'm putting on there, Paul, is Sandy Alcantara. Would you give up one of those 2 guys for Sandy?
Absolutely. Yep.
Second,
No question about it.
yeah, and I agree with you, Paul. Second guy, get a little harder here. Miles Mikolas from the Cardinals.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
Luis Castillo from the Mariners.
No.
I would for him. I think he pitched in the National League with the Reds. I know he's getting up there in age.
Yeah.
I would give up Acuna's in the majors. I'm going to keep Acuna, but I would give up Jet Williams because he's in Double A, and you never
Hmm.
know what's going to happen from Double A to the majors. So I would give him up for Jet Williams. But you're the Met guy. You're saying no. So I respect.
Let me just preface by saying I've got to see what happens with Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea. If those two guys come back, then we have a really deep, and Paul Blackburn, who's also injured. If we can get those three guys back, I would be very happy with those three guys returning to the rotation, but then it would lengthen our bullpen. Okay, let me hear the fourth guy before I
Okay, Kurt's saying yes. He's with me with Castillo. We both love
okay.
Luis Castillo. Framber
Okay.
Valdez, Astros.
Yes, absolutely. I love that guy.
Okay, so two of those, that's fair, and one's a maybe and one's a no, and that's about right. I would go the same route there. I would be a little hesitant on Sandy Alcantara. Never pitched in big games like the Marlins. I mean, there's no pressure down there. You know,
Right,
Frankie Montas. You mentioned Frankie Montas, and he came over to the Yankees and was complete bust from Oakland.
right. No, I
So that's
understand that. And
but
so was Louis Severino last year,
right,
and he
right.
turned it around. But here's the thing about Sandy. He has this year, next year, and an option for a third year. So you have control of him for basically the next 3 years, which is a big, big plus. He's making literally next to nothing in money.
Fair enough. I'm going to pass it to you, Paul, for your who's on first.
All
There's our
right.
good friend Ernie Mays, a big Bronco fan out there in California. Bronco show Wednesday night, Ernie. We got it at 7 p.m. your time. Don't know who's going to be on yet. It might be Kurt and I. It might be me and someone else. It might be Kurt and someone else. But we will have a Bronco show for you Wednesday night, my friend. Thank you for tuning into the baseball show. This is a baseball one tonight. Kurt's
All right.
saying Yankees and Mets can both be playing well into October.
Yep, I agree. So my first question, my who's on first question to you is, why are Yankee fans acting like Juan Soto is the girlfriend that walked away and ended their relationship? I mean, they're not even playing the Mets, and they're F Soto and all of this. So tell me why the Yankee fans are so hung up with Juan Soto.
Because all the way back from Babe Ruth, we were the ones that stole the player from another team. And now it's happening to us. And he's the first major star that I can remember leaving the Yankees for another team and leaving them for your crosstown rival, the Mets. The only thing worse than that would be the Red Sox. So, yeah, there's going to be, the Boo Birds are going to come out for him because we play each other every year, Subway Series. It's going to continue, and it's going to be like that. He's going to be the arch rival now because he went to the other New York team, courting the Yankee fans, which is the Mets.
Right.
That's my
I
opinion.
understand when they're playing each other, but to start a chant of F Soto in the
That,
middle of a game against another team, I mean, what
and
is
I don't mean to put down Eagle fans, but the Yankee fans are equivalent to Eagle fans. They are, and I'm a Yankee fan. You go to Yankee
okay.
Stadium back in, they threw batteries at players. I mean, they're ruthless, and it's unsportsmanlike, it's uncalled for, and it's really unprofessional for as a fan to treat players like that. But they do. You can
Okay.
boo somebody and heckle them a little bit, but you don't need to say the F word, with kids in the stadium and stuff like that. You don't need
Yeah.
to do that. Our good friend, everybody's friend, Michael Ronquillo, saying hi, Kenny and Paul. We got a little
Hey,
baseball show.
Michael.
I think Michael's a Yankee fan, so we got a little quick hitter segment called "Who's on First?" Michael, we're doing now. So
Okay.
that's my thoughts on that one, Paul.
All right.
What's on second for you? And the reason why I didn't do it as who's on first, it's about Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil is out with an oblique injury since March 13th. He's going to ramp up his rehab, I was reading, Paul, in Florida. I want to know, is his playing days over in New York, or are you expecting him to be a productive and a missing piece maybe when he comes back from his injury?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm sick of Brett Beatty. Acuna really hasn't played that well either. So I can't wait for Jeff McNeil to get back because once he's healthy, he's going to go into second at second base. They're going to send either Acuna down or Beatty uh, down. And quite honestly, I'm excited that McNeil's going to come back because two reasons. He's going to be a professional hitter and he's going to lengthen the lineup for the Mets. And right now, well, we'll get into the offense in a little bit, but I can't wait for him to get back. His days are not numbered, and nobody right now on the roster is stepping up to make the Mets make a tough decision about second. So I think if anything, McNeil's going to come back in once he's healthy, and he's going to be inserted right back into second base.
I wish I could say the same about DJ LeMahieu because I really like TJ LeMahieu as when in his younger days, and I just wish
Hmm.
he can get back some of what he had, but I just don't see it happening with the Yankees. He may get a chance maybe in the future with a smaller market team and maybe get to resurrect his career, save his career, but I don't think it's going to be with the Yankees for DJ. But the question was about Jeff McNeil. All right, Paul, you're what's on second?
All right, my what's on second is while the Yankee bats have been amazing so far this year. Of course, Screwball could shut out the 27 Yankees. Do you feel the Yankee pitching staff can support the team all year as well?
You said it with your guys, your three guys you want back: Blackburn, Montas, and I'm forgetting the third,
Sean
Mania.
Manaea.
Mania, yeah. You said it with that. Well, the Yankees need Clark Schmidt, Luis Gil back in this rotation because Cole's out for the year. You're not gonna, you got to get something, back. Carlos Carrasco, nice story. He ain't gonna be around in September and October pitching in meaningful games. I can guarantee you that. And so right now we got Rodon, Fried, and Stroman as top three. That's not going to cut it. We need players back, and we may even look to trade. So yeah, pitching is definitely hurting for the Yankees, and if we don't do something soon, we're going to find ourselves in a big hole.
Okay.
My last one for you. I don't know third base. I got a little fun one for you. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being cheesy, 10 being amazing, as in the amazing Mets. Do you like the 5 boroughs race that they introduced? For those who don't know, Washington has the 4 presidents. I think Milwaukee has the 4 different sausages.
Yeah.
Well, the Mets introduced the 5 boroughs for each one of the 5 boroughs in New York City. So they got 5 mascots: a pizza slice, a skyscraper, which pizza slice represents Brooklyn, skyscraper represents Manhattan, subway represents Queens, giraffe represents the Bronx for the Bronx Zoo. They couldn't find something better than the giraffe, and the ferry, Staten Island. But on a scale of 1 to 10, Paul, 1 being cheesy, 10 being amazing, how much do you like it?
-2. Listen, I'm a traditionalist. It's for the kids that come out. Everything is a market to try and get the fans interested. It's almost everything but baseball. So if it's with between innings and they do it, okay. I mean, personally, it's no big deal to me. I was kidding when I said -2. Let's say a 6 or 7, just to say if you're at the stadium and they're doing it. Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I remember they used to do things on the scoreboard that the fans in the stadium we get excited about. So why not this?
Yeah, there's our good friend Keith Brugman from
Hey, Keith.
fellow horseman of the Denver Bronco Roundup, Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Check us out Tuesday, Friday nights, 9:30 Eastern time. Believe we're taking tonight off. He's saying, "Hey, there's a big 50 around the corner. Congratulations, Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick." Thank you, Keith. Appreciate that. Paul, I'm going to give it a 10 because you know why? It's about you go to the stadium on a Saturday or Sunday with your grandkids. You go to the stadium with your kids. Kids are going to be interested in it and have some fun where they're not, in between innings. It's not affecting the game. You have your 7th inning stretch, which we all love. And now you have this in between innings, the 5 boroughs race. I like it. I wish the Yankees would do one, and then the Yankees can do one. They can have Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle mascot,
Right.
a Lou Gehrig mascot, and a Derek Jeter mascot racing each other every day. Some Yankee greats. I'm going to pitch that idea out to the Yankee organization. See what they think, so they can compete with the Mets race that they have.
That's the thing. They will not do it because the Mets did it already, and they don't want to feel like they are competing with the Mets.
Right. That's a good point. But that's my I don't know third one for Mr. Rosen and his Mets.
So speaking of Juan Soto, my I don't know third base was someone at WFAN said this. Aaron Judge is a better player than Juan Soto, but I would rather Juan Soto on my team because I trust him more to get the job done when it matters most. Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with Juan Soto, but I don't agree with the Aaron Judge, Yogi Berra. We were talking about this the other day. Yogi Berra's playoff stats alone. What is Aaron Judge? Aaron Judge is Mr. April. He'll give you 10 home runs in April, but then come October, November, where's his production? It's not there. So to say, Aaron Judge is better than Yogi Berra, I don't agree with that. But I will say Juan Soto, I agree with that one. I want him in a big spot. And, he's off to a slow start. It's first weekend of the season. Mets fans don't need to be concerned about this guy. This guy will start hitting. I want to see you hitting 30, 35, 40-degree weather every day. Wait until May and June. And if he's still slumping, then you got some concerns. But that ain't going to happen. There's Ernie saying, "Go Colorado Rockies." Big Rocky fan over there. Good luck to those Rockies, Ernie. I know it's rough out there, and our good friends out there in the Mountain and Western time zone. It's tough out there with the Dodgers. Giants are even playing well, Paul, and the Diamondbacks are playing well as well. Padres, everybody's playing well except the Rockies. So I really feel bad.
In that division. Yep.
Really feel bad.
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Yep. But there's our intro segment. Who's on first? Quick hitters style questions, fun, anything goes. Hope you guys like that. We're going to move into the main part of the show, unless you have something else for who's on first.
No.
Well, all right. Time to move on to the main part of the show. And I'm going to let you go first, Paul. It's the Bleacher Feature segment that you named. By the way, you've named all these segments. And who's on first is one from last year, but the rest of these segments, Paul came up with the great idea for these names.
All right. Thank you, Kenny. So my Bleacher Feature is the following. My topic is on the Mets, of course. What has been a bigger surprise to you so far for the Mets? This was through 10 games. Obviously, now it's 11. The Mets are 8-3. The pitching has been phenomenal. Their overall ERA before today was 1.72. That led the major leagues by far, over almost a run more than the next. I think the Dodgers were second. And the bullpen was incredible, an ERA of 1.15. The hitting hasn't been as great. They scored 10 runs today, but their hitting with runners in scoring position has been only like 157. So it really has been lagging. And of course, like we were talking, no Frankie Montas, no Sean Manaea. So which has been a bigger surprise, the way the Mets pitching has been, or the way the Mets hitting has been, even though they are 8-3?
It's a great question. I don't want to say a little bit of both because that's cheating. I'll say the hitting because I want to see more from Juan Soto. You know, we got concerns about Beatty that you mentioned. 8-3, the pitching's carrying them, but I am a little concerned about some of the hitting there, Paul, with some of the guys. Uh, Marte's on the DL as well. I always like Starling Marte. I'd like him to come back.
No, he's playing.
He is playing now. I thought he
Yeah,
was hurt. I'm sorry.
he's off the DL.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, living in Maryland, I don't get to see many Met games.
Right,
But
right. No.
okay,
He's
he's
playing.
back. Okay, good. So yeah, I like to see the offense produce more, and you got some pitching right now. Get the pitchers back that you want, starting with Senga and Manaya, and then Blackburn, and anything you can get from them, is going to be from the guys in the rotation now is just going to be gravy to the mashed potatoes. So, you know, hitting will come around. And go from there, and Alvarez, and Alvarez is the other guy that's on the DL. Alvarez and McNeil come back with Soto, Alonso, Lindor in the middle. You're going places. I'm concerned if I'm the opposing team.
Ironically, Alonso was off to maybe the best start of his career. In 11 games, he has 15 RBIs, second in the league now to Kyle Tucker, and the guy is just tearing the hide off the ball. So he's been a perfect signing. Thank God he's back with the Mets, and perfect behind Soto. They actually walked Soto intentionally. They gave him the Bonds treatment today. First and third, they walked Soto to get the bases loaded, and Alonso promptly hit a bases clearing double. So it's starting to work.
Yeah, Keith's saying the Mets pitching, the hitting has to come around,
and it will.
Yeah, I totally think it will as well. So that's yeah. And anything else on that, Paul? Or
no, I think that's it.
My bleacher feature is a simple one. There's the Yankee bleachers in the background. It's torpedo bats. The Yankees introduced the torpedo bat, which is a customized bat that allows the barrel for each. The barrel is in a different spot for each batter, depending on where the sweet spot is in the bat. And I'll pull it up. I got a picture of it. So if you see there's Jazz Chisholm, you see that you don't have the hollow end on the top of the bat, but you see where the meat of the bat is right there, and that's his sweet spot. And getting some love and some hate from it around the league, Paul, and from some players. Some other teams are introducing it. I think the Braves just put in an order for torpedo bats. I think it's something you're going to see around Major League Baseball. It's a loophole, and it's illegal. It's legal because the barrel is where you can see the barrel of Jazz Chisholm's bat is under the inches. I think under 41 inches it has to be the barrel, and that's under 41 inches. But it's allowing for the harder part, the sweet spot of the bat. It's giving them more. Not contact, Paul, but it's giving them, what's the word I'm looking for? It's giving them
more surface. More surface.
Yes, more surface. And Yankees, the first 3 games of the season were breaking records, home run records. Well, you know what? And Tyler McGill had a big complaint about it. Well, you know what, Tyler McGill? And for everybody else who's complaining about it right now,
actually, I think that's Trevor McGill.
McGill. Yeah.
Tyler is the Mets pitcher.
Sorry, Tyler. Trevor. I did not mean. I'm calling out your brother, Trevor.
Right.
Did you see what Tariq Skubal did to the Yankees today? He shut them out. Gave up, I think, 3 hits. Did the torpedo bats work for miracles for the Yankees against Tariq Skubal? No. So Trevor McGill, go out and do your job, and you wouldn't be giving up home runs. Nestor Cortez gave up 6 home runs throwing meatballs. We all saw the meatball last year. Freddie Freeman, hit a home run off Nestor. So meatball Nestor, I call him. So don't be complaining about the torpedo bats. I think it's a genius idea, Paul. I think you're going to see players take advantage of it. They may tweak the rule a little bit, maybe shorten the inches up a little bit, but I don't see anything wrong with it, Paul. And I think you'll see less broken bats in the future. You want to add anything to it? What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, listen, I love it. The fact that, remember the old saying years ago, chicks dig the long ball? Well, they were talking also possibly the ball was being juiced a little. I don't know about that. But the bats are legal. The Yankees were able to get these in use the beginning of the season. Whether other teams were using it or not, I read right in the middle of the Yankees creaming the ball early in the season. They were talking about how the Cubs were using it during spring training. Maybe it was something that the players had to get used to a little bit. But as far as I'm concerned, I think it's fantastic. Let every player who wants to use it on every team use it. There's no advantage to one team because everybody, like you said, it's a legal bat. So whoever wants to use it, let them use it. If they feel, at least from a psychological standpoint, it's going to help them hit, fantastic. Who is going to deny that? But like you said, when you have a great pitcher that's pitching and throws a shutout, well, you could use a redwood tree, and it's not going
Yeah,
to help.
exactly.
So, I think if teams are using it, they can't complain if one team like the Yankees got off to a great start, hitting all those home runs. They were using it to their advantage. Obviously, like I said, they got it approved by the league. Uh, there's no issue with the bat through Major League Baseball. So, hey, every team should use it if they feel it's gonna be a help for them.
And one more important thing to add on the bat, Paul, the weight is still under the weight that, I forget how many, the inches of the bat is still
Hmm.
illegal, and the weight of the bat is still within the legal limits. So it's not like
Right.
you said, they're using a redwood tree out there and bashing home runs. Yankee Stadium, for those who don't know, is a hitter's ballpark. So for Trevor McGill to complain, maybe you should, you know, go worry about how your Brewers are doing because last I looked, you're not doing too well. So um, instead of worrying about first 3 games of the season, that the Yankees got the best of you. So that was my little take on the torpedo bats. I don't mind them. I don't think you may see Major League Baseball tweak it a little bit, maybe drop it an inch or two, but
Hmm.
for the most part, I don't think there's anything wrong with this bat, and I think it's a genius idea by the analytics department that created this bat. So, hats off to them. All right, Paul, you want to move on?
Yeah.
Moving nice pace of show, about halfway through. So, we're going to talk a little bit about our offenses, and why don't we start with your Mets offense?
Okay. And this is our seventh inning stretch, we
Seventh inning
call it.
stretch. Yep.
Okay. So we talked about the offense earlier. Um, Again, they're 8-3. They're playing overall great baseball, but the offense hasn't been clicking on all cylinders. Um, Soto has been okay, but not great. As I mentioned, Alonso is probably the only one in the lineup that's been consistent over the first week or so of the season in the Mets lineup. Mark Vientos, who was huge last year and obviously in the playoffs, really has gotten off to a slow start. And we also mentioned earlier, you brought up Jeff McNeil, the second base combination that the Mets have used in McNeil's absence. They really haven't hit. So I think once McNeil gets back into the lineup and starts producing, I think again the offense will continue to improve. And like you also mentioned, Francisco Alvarez, who was out with a injury from spring training, though the catchers for the Mets have actually produced pretty well. Not in a power sense, but at least they've gotten on base and they've handled the pitching staff pretty well. But so overall, the offense has not been scoring a lot of runs, but they've been winning a lot of close games. I think they have the most wins in 1 and 2 run games in baseball so far in the short season. So I'm sure the offense will continue to improve, however, especially like you mentioned, the weather has just been god awful, cold, windy, rainy. So that also affects early season hitting.
Is there anyone on again, we're early in the season. Is there anyone on your offense that you're concerned with that's not going to turn it around? That you've
Um,
seen this script before,
Yeah, not really. Lindor, who got off to a horrible start last year, has actually been very good the first 11, 10, 11 games. He's gotten off to a much, much better start. Um, uh, Nimmo will be there. He's been hitting in a little bit of hard luck, but had a big hit today. Like I mentioned, Vientos, uh, he hasn't gotten off yet, but I'm not concerned. I think the hitting will slowly start to evolve, and hitting's contagious. So once a couple of guys start hitting, I think the whole team as a whole will really start to hit.
if I had to pick one guy that maybe would concern me, and again, it's early in the season, so I'm probably going to be wrong. But if I had to pick one, Paul, I would go Vientos because he's last year was his breakout year. Does he have a slump after last year? So that's
Hmm.
the only reason I would say off to the slow start after a nice year last year. Maybe he has a. Hopefully he doesn't, but maybe he's the one that struggles to get it turned around early in the season. Uh,
Sure.
Keith on the bats was saying the issue he heard on the bats is the definition that says it's supposed to be tapered. The Yankees did it on both ends, bolstering the middle. And then he wants to know who is stretching and showing off earlier than you thought in your division or the league, Paul.
I think the right off the bat, the Giants and the Padres. I don't think either one of those teams. No one expected either one of those teams to get off to the start that they have. I mean, the Dodgers are in third place now, behind both the Padres and Giants. So I think you have to say they've been the talk of baseball, early part of baseball so far.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna go. They're 7-4, I think, I think, and I'm gonna go with Carson's Tigers in the American League because they took 2 out of 2 from the Yankees with pitching, and we all know how hot of a second half they had last year. And I said when we did our baseball show, Carson, that they can off to a hot start this year, they ain't going to look back, and they're going to run away with that AL Central. And right now they're in first place with a 7-4 record. But if they can get off to a hot start, they may not look back. So you may see 12, you may see 14-8 next year, another next week, another 7-4 in the next 11 games. And Carson's little Tigers may not look back. And
Mm,
Detroit sports are doing pretty good. Pistons had a
yeah.
nice year, and the Lions, but that would be my pick in the American League. American League, there isn't as many. You could say the Diamondbacks, you could say the Padres, the Giants. That whole NL West is on fire out there. Uh,
Yeah.
how about on the other side, Paul? Real quick, since Keith asked that question, I guess the Braves would be the one that come to mind, right? 1-8.
Oh yeah. I mean, no one had that on on their bingo card. Who expected the Braves to be 1-8 at this point? And they have the Phillies for the next 3 games, so that'll be a very interesting series. If I'm the Phillies, I'm saying to myself, man, I'm not counting the Braves out. They're just too good. But boy, if the Phillies go into Atlanta and take even 2 out of 3,
Right.
that'll make a big statement.
Yeah, and the one for me in the American League, if I had to pick one, uh, it's going to be Seattle. I mean, 4-7 start with that pitching, that's unacceptable. Luis Castillo, Gilbert, Miller, they got good pitching over there, and they just can't never seem to get out of their way. They don't have a great offense, and the pitching struggles because of that. So I'd say surprise slow start for the Mariners with their pitching. Could have taken advantage of their pitching early, and they didn't. So,
Hmm.
good question, Keith. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith.
I'll do my offense, Yankee offense, a little different, Paul. I'll do it quick. I wrote down players and some key stats. Their start. So
Okay.
our infield, I got Goldschmidt, newcomer. Jazz moves from third to second. Volpe stays at shortstop, and Oswaldo Cabrera takes over at third. Goldschmidt, love the move. Expect nothing but better things than last year's Cardinal. I think he batted 248 last year or 238. I'm expecting him to be in the 270, 280 range this year. That's how much of an improvement I think at Yankee Stadium he will be. He's off to a hot start, 342 average. He's got a home run and 3 RBIs. Jazz Chisholm, a little concerned about him, Paul. I'm not going to lie. He's off to a 214 start, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. I think if a torpedo bat is going to hurt somebody, it's going to hurt Jazz Chisholm because he's going to want to try and be more of a power hitter than like a. I think he'd be amazing as a Louis Arise type hitter. You know, he would just be amazing and be a doubles type hitter. I think he's just going to want to use that short porch, and I think it's hurting him. Batting in a power spot, the Yankees bat him in the 5 hole most times, and I think it's hurting him more than helping him with the 214 average, 4 home runs. So showing that he's hitting a home run or making it out.
I not to interject, but I think I read somewhere he's struck out already 19 times, which
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, Paul, it's like he's trying to hit home runs, and I don't want that from him. I want him on base, stealing the bases. He's hit the single or doubles. That's what I want you to be. And if the home runs come, they come. And then Volpe and Cabrera both batting in the 260s, 268 and 261. Volpe showing a little power. The torpedo bat has helped him. 4 home runs and 12 RBIs. His meat is more towards the middle of the bat, Paul, a little lower than the upper part. If you see his bat when you watch a Yankee game, you'll see what I mean. And it's helping him because that's where he puts hits the ball most times. So torpedo bat is actually helping him, and he's got a 268 average, which is above his 240, 250 range. So, and then in our outfield, Cody Bellinger comes over. He's off to, I think he'll get going. He's off to a little slow start. He's been dealing with a back issue. 233. He's got a home run, 6 RBIs, a couple stolen bases. Jason Dominguez also starts this year, rookie, 242. He's got a homer and 3 RBIs. And then Mr. April himself with a 325 average and 6 RBIs, 6 home runs, 18 RBIs, Paul, 2 stolen bases. Mr. April himself off to the hot start, Aaron Judge. And last but not least, pleasant surprise and a guy I liked and I just felt he never got a chance with the Yankees. And I hope he gets a chance with Stanton out. He could play a lot of outfield, spell Judge, spell Bellinger and Dominguez, and that's Trent Grisham, Paul. 26 at-bats. He's off to a 423 start, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. And then Austin Wells struggling a little bit, 212, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. I expect him to turn it around and be a solid not only defensive catcher, but provide us with some offense as well. And nice story, J.C. Escarra, Paul, our backup catcher, made the Yankees, 29 years old rookie. And he was actually doing some substitute teaching last year. So nice story. It almost reminds me of that movie, The Rookie, with Randy Quaid with the rookie that went to the Rays. I forget his name, but it almost reminds me of that kind of story. A substitute teacher playing on the Yankees as a backup catcher. He's got a hit in 6 at bats. So I just wanted to throw his name out there. But that's our offense a little bit.
It's interesting. The Mets also brought up a backup catcher. He's been playing more because Luis Torrens has an injured forearm, but his name is Sanger, who's been in the Mets system. But he also was working at Whole Foods, so he had a part-time job in the off season working, a regular job, quote
It's
unquote.
awesome.
So yeah, so it's funny that both Mets and Yankees have a backup catcher that have good stories behind it.
That's great. Yeah, but there's my offense. Oh, and Ben Rice, I wrote him down. He's our backup utility emergency catch, backup infielder, first base, can play a lot of different positions. Spelling guys, 333 start, left-handed bat, 2 home runs and
Hmm.
2 RBIs. So
Okay.
offense is looking good. I would
Yeah.
say some players, more players are not off to a slow start, so that's a good sign uh, for the offense. And we're about to get into the pitching, and that might be a little different story. So we'll see how we're going to do on our pitching evaluations here.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first on this one. Mine's going to be
Okay.
quick. I got some stats again. So we lost Garrett Cole, huge loss. Before I get started, got breaking. I always got a break for when Patrick says aloha, boys.
Oh
Patrick
yeah.
coming in from
Hey,
Aloha.
Patrick.
He goes, I love the George Steinbrenner era. Still love my Rockies, though. I got to do this, Paul. I was waiting for Patrick to come on. Patrick over there at Lion Coffee, Royal Kona Coffee. Patrick takes care of all of us at K&K Sports Show. Just sent us all some nice coffee and tea, coffee package, tea package, all the above. Go check out Lion Coffee. They are celebrating a 160-year anniversary, Paul. And
Yep.
the little stickers that he gave us. So I wanted to put that on there for anybody who wants to check out Lion Coffee out there in the Hawaiian Islands.
It's unbelievable.
Stuff. 1864. Congratulations on 160 years. And been sharing it with my nursing friends this past week, Patrick. I've been making a pot of the vanilla macadamia and about to try the toasted coconut. So
we tried that, and I'll tell you, it was delicious. We loved it. So thank you again, Patrick.
Absolutely. Thanks, Patrick. Wanted to definitely give a shout out to Lion Coffee there. So, all right, Paul, we're going to get into the pitchers. And the pitchers, I'll do mine quick. We lost Garrett Cole. Big loss. He was our ace, obviously. Starting rotation, also lost our rookie, Luis Gil, for a good part of this year. And Clark Schmidt is on the DL, but he's due to come back soon. So that's 3 starters. And when you lose starters, because you're going to be talking about the same thing. It's hard to replace starting pitching. So Carlos Rodon moves into the ace role, and he's struggling a little bit, but it's early in the season. Pitchers struggle just like hitters. So I am going to give some of the struggling pitchers a pass. Now, middle of May comes in May and you're still struggling, we're going to have a different conversation here, Paul, on New York. Carlos Rodon off to a 1-2 start, 5.19 ERA, 17 innings pitched. He's got 20 strikeouts. And the reason why I'm not concerned about him too much, he's got a 1.15 whip. So that's telling me he's getting people out, just not in the right spots right now. So we'll give him a hard pass right now. Max Fried comes over from Atlanta. I think he could eventually become the ace of the Yankees. 1-0 start, 2.61 ERA. He's got 10 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, and a 1.5 whip. He should be pitching tomorrow against the Tigers. So let's hope he can avoid the sweep with Max Fried going tomorrow. Marcus Stroman struggling, Paul. He's got no record, 7.2 ERA. He's only pitched 8 innings. He's got a 1.38 ERA whip. He can maybe turn it around a little bit. That whip isn't that high with that high of an ERA. Then here's where it gets bad. Carlos Carrasco. He's got a 7.36 ERA. He's got a win. He's got 7 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts. He gave up a lot of 5 runs today, so he's actually 1-1. He's got a 1.6 whip. And then Will Warren, our rookie, filling in for Clark Schmidt. He's got a no record with a 6 ERA. So our middle relief, we brought in Adam Ottavino, former Yankee, former Yankee. Yeah, Yo-Yo. That's a good. We call him Yo-Yo Ottavino. I like that. He hasn't pitched yet. Tim Hill's our lefty. There's no lefty specialist now because you got to get 3 batters. I hate that. And Mark Leiter, he has his ups and downs. Devin Williams is struggling a little bit. We brought him in He has one save. He's got a 2.14 WHIP. But the guy I'm really upset about, Paul, is Luke Weaver. I don't think he got a fair shake. I thought he should have had the chance to be the closer this year. I was not on board with the Devin Williams signing. Luke Weaver in 3 games has a save. He's got a .69 WHIP, so he's starting off right where he ended last year. He was phenomenal for us, filling in when Clay Holmes struggled. So he took over and didn't look back, and then we gave up everything for Devin Williams. So
Okay.
there's our pitching. Before we get to your Mets, let's get a couple comments in. Jody wants to know what DJ's status is. He's still out. He's going to be out for a little bit, Jody. I'm not sure on the exact time frame, but we're looking at least another, could be 6 weeks, I think, before you see.
Can I just throw in a Notre Dame reference?
Yeah.
Hey, Jody, I don't know if you heard this. Notre Dame is bringing in, get this, a quarterback prospect for the 2028 season by the name of, get this, Brady Quinn. I kid you not, quarterback.
Patrick came in late, but I want to answer this for him. Paul, you can answer it for me. What's the deal with the torpedo bats? We talked about it. You want to give him the quick rundown on it?
You can. Go ahead.
Okay. The torpedo bats, Patrick, is they're taking the top part of the bat, the hollow part, and they're putting that hard part of the bat into somewhere in the middle. Call it the sweet spot of the bat. I'm going to put the picture up for you of Jazz Chisholm again, so you can see what I mean. Jazz Chisholm there, that's considered his sweet spot, and it's supposedly given the batters somewhat of an advantage. It's helping them out, and we're going to see in the long run if it's helping or if it's hurting. I don't think it's going to hurt them, Patrick, but you're getting some players, some pitchers and some opposing teams complaining that it's an unfair advantage. I don't see it as an unfair advantage. The bat is still within the legal limits, size and length, width. There's nothing illegal about that bat. They just took a different part of the bat and made it a little wider. So we're going to see more teams are taking effect. The Atlanta Braves just put in an order for it, Patrick, and some other teams are using it right now as well, and some players. So I think you're going to see some hitters try and take advantage of seeing if this bat helps them or not with their offensive production. And then we'll get Keith's question in a second after we do your pitching, Paul.
Okay. I won't go into statistics too much, but overall, the Mets pitching has been totally dominant. Their ERA coming in to today's game was 1.72, by far the best ERA in the majors. Their bullpen ERA has been phenomenal, 1.15, even with, as we discussed, the loss of Frankie Montas and Sean Manaea. The starting pitching has been phenomenal. A guy who has been spot starting over the last 3-4 years for the Mets, Tyler McGill. We mentioned his brother, Trevor, has gotten off to a fantastic start. He's 2-0 with a 0.87 ERA, and he goes for his 3rd win tomorrow. So he's been stepping up. And Clay Holmes, who they signed from the Yankees, he got his first win today. He's been a little shaky, has not pitched deep into games as of yet, but you can see today he pitched pretty well. He struck out double figures, 10 today, which is the most he's ever struck out in a game as a starter. And of course, he had been used as a relief pitcher for many years. So overall, the starters have been very respectable. They're getting help all throughout the rotation, and especially the bullpen. Edwin Diaz seems to have bounced back, and he sounds like and looks like the Edwin Diaz from 2022, which is obviously a big sign, great sign. And AJ Minter, who they signed from the Braves, he's been slowly working his way back from hip surgery. So overall, the makeup of the bullpen, in addition to the starting rotation, has been excellent. Uh, Mendoza, the manager, has used them very well, and I can't wait once they get the injured pitchers back. They're really going to have a deep bullpen, deep rotation.
Absolutely, and uh, you know they're right there with the Braves getting off to that slow start. That helps the Mets tremendously because now
Hmm.
they have to catch we're only 2 weeks into the season, but they have to catch the Mets, and in the Phillies. So the Braves put themselves in a big hole. So that's an advantage the Mets got to take advantage of. So, uh, and, I think they will. So, all right. Well, there's our offense and defense pitching, evaluations 2 weeks into the season. Uh, any thoughts, concerns, Paul? You want to move on to our final one of the night?
Yeah, let's move on to call to the bullpen. Speaking of the
Call,
bullpen,
call to the bullpen is our week ahead, and I'll go first, Paul.
go
Our look
ahead.
ahead is April. I got April 11th to April 16th, our schedule. Tomorrow we finish the series with the Tigers. I don't want to talk about that one. We're off on uh, uh, Thursday. So we start a weekend series with the San Francisco Giants. We talked about their hot start, and they got some pitchers. They got Robbie Ray, and Robbie Ray was injured most of last year, but Robbie Ray off to a nice start there, along with Justin Verlander, KG veteran, 42 years old now. Surprised that he went to the Giants, but off to a hot start. And pitcher's ballpark, San Francisco. So remember that. So when you're thinking about Justin Verlander, and a name that gets forgotten by a lot of people when we talk pitchers, Paul, Logan Webb. So they got a
Hmm.
big three over there that I consider a big three that can compete with any offense in the league. And they're going to bring those pitchers to Yankee Stadium, uh, with also an offense led by Willie Adames and Matt Chapman. Uh, for the Yankees to be successful, starting pitching needs to step up in this series because I know San Francisco's pitchers are going to bring it, and I don't think we're going to see any 10 plus run games in this series. I think 5 runs are going to win these games. So if the Yankees can get 5 runs, I think they'll win these games. And starting pitching needs to step up. And then start of next week, leading into next week, from April 14th to the 16th, sneaky team and the Kansas City Royals come to town. And the Royals are led, of course, by one of the best in baseball, in my opinion, and that's Bobby Witt Jr. He's off to an average start, Paul, 268 home run, 5 RBIs, but that guy can turn it around in a game and go 4 for 4 and 7 for 10 in a series. And they got the KG veteran Salvador Perez. He seems like he's been around forever, but he's only 32, 34 years old. So,
Wow.
uh, uh, and
Started, he was 8 years old.
yeah, exactly. So they're bringing back they look for an old fashioned way and win with small ball. It's a lot of names we don't know, but they win with a lot of small ball. They got some good pitching. Uh, uh, led by Chris Bubic. He's a left-hander, Paul. He's going to be good in Yankee Stadium if he pitches in the series. He's off to a 2-0 start with a 0.7 ERA. And once again, broken record. The Yankees are going to have to rely on starting pitching in this series because the Royals are going to bring it, and the Royals are going to try and win with some small ball and win games in the 5-4 range. So the Yankee pitching is going to have to step up, or we're going to be in for a long series with the Royals. That's my look ahead to next week.
Okay, great. As far as the Mets are concerned, they close the series tomorrow against the Marlins. They're off Thursday, and then for the first time, they fly out to California, not to Oakland, but to Sacramento, where the A's, of course, are now situated. So this will be the first time that the Mets and Met fans will get a look at the Sacramento stadium that the A's are using, and they play Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon. Uh, the A's, they signed one of the former Mets, Luis Severino, who came off a really good year last year for the Mets. And they have a kid, Tyler Soderstrom. Obviously, we don't get to see the A's too often, who actually hit 2 home runs yesterday, now has 6 home runs, and he's tied with Aaron Judge for the most home runs in the major league. So obviously, this kid has some power. Mets will have to pitch to him pretty carefully over the weekend. A's right now are 4-7. They're tied for fourth place in the American League West. So they have not gotten off to that great a start. But uh, given the circumstances of them moving to Sacramento, so there's a lot of big changes with the A's. So we'll see how it goes. The Mets then come back to the central part of the country, and Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoon, they will play the Minnesota Twins. And the Twins have gotten off to also a slow start. They are 3-7, fourth place in the Central Division. So they trail the Tigers by a few games in the American League Central. And another ex-Met, Harrison Bader, center fielder, was signed by Twins over the winter as a free agent. He actually has 3 home runs already and leads actually the Twins in home runs. Uh, Carlos Correa, that big star, has not gotten off to that good a start, but obviously he's a really, really good player and hitter. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before he begins. But Mets are playing good ball. They're playing teams below 500. So let's see. You always have to worry about when you go on the road. You can't assume anything against any team in the major league. So uh, hopefully the Mets can continue their good play and maybe don't play down to some of these weaker teams in the American League.
Keith's got a comment, and then I almost forgot his question. So I want to we'll close the show out with his question, and then get our final thoughts. And he said Mets will think they're playing spring ball when they walk into Sacramento.
Exactly. I mean, it's ironic. I think it's better for them to play now in April because maybe it's 70, 72, 74 degrees there. I know in the summer, being outdoors there, it can get to be well over 100. So it's probably a good break that they're going out there now.
I love that Keith is naming has even got names for his questions. So he's calling his question "Stealing Third."
Nice.
What we'll do it as one player. So what player, Paul, this upcoming schedule. So we'll go from today until we just did our upcoming schedule. So it's a perfect question that we get. What player do you think is going to peak with a good run in this? We'll do it this week upcoming. Who do you think can have a good week? We'll answer it that way. He asked it as good weeks in the upcoming weeks, but let's do it as 1 week. Who do you think is going to have a good week with these two teams that you're facing?
For the A's and the Twins, or for the Mets?
For you. Well, for the eight, for who on the Mets can have a good week versus the
Okay.
A's and Twins?
I'd like to see Soto. I think he's been playing okay. He had a couple of hits again today. He's been on base every game, but I'd really like to start seeing him drive the ball more. Maybe start hitting the ball out of the park. So I'm going to say Soto.
I like that one. I'm going to go with Cody Bellinger. We're home. We know the short porch is out there in right field. He does have a home run. I think he's just missing. I've been watching some games. I like his swing. He's just missing. I think against some right-handed pitcher, Verlander, Webb, maybe Waka from the Royals, I think he's going to get some opportunities. And, if the wind is carrying out, all you need to do is hit a fly ball to right field, and it's a home run. So that would be my guy at possibly peaking next week. To tweak your question there a little bit, Keith, I'll go with Cody Bellinger.
Good question. Thanks, Keith.
Absolutely. So we're right on the hour mark, Paul. Do you want to add anything else? Want to get some closing thoughts in?
Yeah, our walk-off homer segment. So my closing thoughts are baseball season, as we know, it's a long season. It's not as they say, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So both teams, Yankees and Mets, have gotten off to pretty decent starts. And of course, things come up. There's a lot of highs, a lot of lows throughout the baseball season. Injuries you got to get through, but for the first couple of weeks or so, it's been fun watching each team play, and hopefully, let's hope it'll continue. And I think, based on the talent that we both have, I think it's going to be a fun season for both New York teams.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there, Paul. I'm gonna end mine with the thank yous to everybody who tuned in tonight, and I got a couple from Keith that they're good to wrap the show up. He wants to know. He says, Kenny, looking pretty sharp, but also a little like George Costanza in Babe Ruth's jersey. Oh, I knew Paul would like that one. Big
Oh, that's
Seinfeld
funny.
fan, Paul. I like that was great, Keith. And then
Hmm.
for you to wrap the show up, Paul. Paul, a few favorite Mets of his are Doc, Strawberry, and Gary Carter. You ever meet any of them?
Um, I met Straw. Very nice. At a autograph show. Very nice, very cordial. I unfortunately I never met Gary, and I have not met Doc, though he's around a lot in Jersey, so maybe I'll get an opportunity to meet him someday.
Nice. Yeah, no, I've never met any of them, but a funny story though, Paul. I don't think I ever told you this, but I used to work for a radiology group, and in our building, there was a commercial production place that they did commercials, and they had and you know this, Paul, deli meat over in very well known in New Jersey area is Duman's
Mhm.
Provisions, and Duman's had a contract with the Yankees, so they were doing some, and the Fort Productions was the name of the commercial company. They were doing the commercials at our building, and Joe Torre came to do one. Of course, I didn't get to meet Joe Torre, but I saw Darryl Strawberry leaving, so I wanted to get autographs because he was a Yankee at the time, and I had Yankee stuff ready. I knew they were coming, and I just missed them. I had to deliver something to one of the doctor's offices as I was
Oh.
coming in. They were pulling out. I saw the limo. They said, "Yeah, that was Darryl Strawberry. You just missed him." I saw my coworkers outside, and in very nice PG-13 words, I said, "Dang it." What Yankee have I met? Oh man, not many. Uh, have I met any? I don't think I've met any personally, to be honest with you, there, Paul. Not Paul,
Mhm.
Keith. I don't think I've met any. Uh, yeah, no, Yankees. I haven't. Yankees are hard ones to physically meet, to be honest with you. Uh, have you met any Yankees to wrap it up, Paul? Or
I have, I'm trying to remember if I've ever met any Yankees. Oh, I I'm sure I have, I just can't think of anyone coming off the top of
yeah,
my head, but I'm sure I have at
yeah, the
some point.
Yankees are hard to especially when George was alive. He didn't let them do anything. So yeah. I've
Especially
had
grow
Joe
beards.
Torre and Darryl Strawberry. I guess I kind of met, but I didn't shake hands and meet. If that makes any sense. I did see Joe Torre doing the commercial as well, but I was too busy, so I didn't get to talk to him. But they did all these Stewman's commercials with the Yankees, and they all came to the studio to do the, the commercials. And he's saying happy 50th again. Thank you, Keith. Tomorrow is my 50th, so milestone. Uh, but yeah, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. We're going to be back, I believe. Not sure with the draft coming up if we're going to stick. If any news comes up, Giants related, we're going to do a Giants show on Monday. If not, we'll be back with a baseball show. So
Mhm.
if not, we'll see everybody in a couple weeks for the next episode of New York, New York after the NFL draft. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.